What's going on, guys? Zuko back with another Dragonflight video. I hope you're all doing very, very well. Just want to run us through a dungeon really quickly here on the Ele Shaman and show you guys how fun this really is to play. I think the focus of this video is going to be on how fun Elemental Shaman is to play in 10.2. Why I'm seriously considering switching to it as my main. I'll show you. I'll talk about that in a little bit. Here's the build that I'm running. It's a pure fire build. Focusing on, of course, my big flame shock damage with skybreakers and cooling down my elemental, of course. We have liquid magma totem to apply a bunch of flame shocks to everything. Primordial wave, of course, to apply an additional flame shock. And then it's all about the meatballs with our tier set bonus. Now, this did just get nerfed a couple days ago. And basically, the 4-piece got nerfed. It says Lava Burst burns your target. That didn't get nerfed. After consuming Primordial Wave, your next 2 casts of Lava Burst will hit 3 additional targets. It used to be your next 3 casts of Lava Burst, so they've reduced that by 1. Not a big deal. Honestly, not the end of the world. It's fine. We're still getting a bunch of extra meatballs, which are all going to potentially proc deeply rooted elements for us. That's the point of this build, is to try and proc deeply rooted as much as we possibly can. So let's run through this dungeon. I want to talk about a bunch of things. First of all, different kinds of pulls as Elemental Shaman can be really hard. This pull was really disjointed, and I shouldn't have dropped my totem so early, but I did something really cool here that you can do as well. So I dropped my liquid magma totem really early because I wasn't sure if he was going to stay here. The tank decided not to stay here. He decided to move away. So I used Totemic Recall right here. Right? Here's my GCD of Totemic Recall, and I get my totem back, so I can do another totem down here where I think the tank is going to stay. One really important skill that you're going to have to learn as an Ele Shaman is how to position yourself with your totems to know where is the tank going to stop, where is he going to stay. If I know where the tank is going to land, then I'm going to be able to get my totems down so I can do maximum damage. Earthquake as well. For the entire dungeon, and in all Mythic Plus dungeons, you have to get really good at placing your Earthquakes in the right spot so that they can do maximum damage to all the enemies that are in the area. And for that, again, you need to be really in good coordination with the tank. Ideally, you want to be on voice comms with the tank if possible, but if you can't, if you're pugging, then just aiming really, really quick and being smart about it. Okay, is he going to grab more than these mobs that are right in front of us? Okay, he's only grabbed like 2 or 3 mobs. He's probably going to grab more. And if he doesn't, then you can start launching all your AoE damage. But it's very important to remember that your Earthquake and your Liquid Magma Totem are going to need to be in the exact right spot in order to maximize your damage. Otherwise, it's just not going to work. You're not going to be able to do very much damage. Here's a single target boss fight. Razan. This is pretty good, actually. Our build is really focused on AoE damage more so. It's not that we don't have any single target tools, but we certainly are more spec'd into AoE damage. We're getting a whole bunch of extra lightning bolt overloads, though, because we're taking Surge of Power, right? That's going to give our lightning bolts every time we cast Earth Shock. Our next lightning bolt is going to get an extra elemental overload, which is super, super good. That's awesome. Good for the extra damage. Good for Maelstrom generation, which gets us back to another Earth Shock once again. I got pretty lucky here in the sense that I never got pursued by Razan, but even if I had, I would have been able to deal with it. It's not really a big deal at all. And you can see our damage is okay. It's not amazing. It's okay. Again, please keep in mind when we're talking about the numbers, I do want to focus on the numbers a little bit in this video, but what I mostly want to focus on is how fun the build is to play, how fun it feels to play. It is very, very fun. The numbers are okay. They're not the most incredible single target numbers that you could ever get. I understand that. I haven't really practiced this a whole lot. I don't have optimized gear at all. None of that stuff's good. There's no Augvoker, right? There's nothing special going on there. So just keep that in mind that the damage numbers will definitely improve as your stats get better and as you learn, especially as I learn to sort of optimize the playstyle of Ele Shaman. But there we go. We kill Razan. Everybody else kind of dies, which is pretty funny. We end on 91k, basically. And then we start getting into the AoE. And remember, once again, these pulls get kind of weird. Sometimes pulls can get really disjointed. And you need to make sure that you're holding on to certain cooldowns, like Liquid Magma Totem and Primordial Wave, for when the right moment strikes. So I'm not sure if he's going to pull these 2 mobs. I didn't think he was going to. And I was kind of holding my Primordial Wave. See how I'm holding it right now? I'm like, what's he doing? What's he doing? Okay, they've stopped patrolling. I don't think he's going to grab any more mobs. I'm going to send my Primordial Wave. I end up sending it right here. And then he pulls them right as I send it. So, again, one of those things to just be careful of. I think I add one more Flame Shock here before I send my full Primordial Wave combo. There it is right there. Here comes the meatballs. Boom, 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 boom. Awesome. And then we got an Ascendance proc, so the damage is even better. Really good. We really pop off here. I got a couple Lava Beams in there. Our damage is looking good. But again, now we have Primordial Wave back again. It's perfectly fine. I would say, on average, we got another proc on Ascendance right there. Oh, no, that was just from the Primordial Wave. Sorry. I would say, on average, you want to probably just send your Primordial Wave and not worry too much about whether or not the tank is going to keep pulling in more mobs. If you have 3 enemies or more, just send it. Just send it and go, because you'll get it back. You'll get the cooldown back. Look at it, 22, 21. Watch this. I'm going to get some Lava Burst in here. 19, 18, 17. It just comes back really, really quickly. 15, 14, 13. It just goes back really quickly. So I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just get in the habit of full sending your Primordial Wave when you have at least 3 or more targets to try and optimize your damage. Now, again, it is okay to wait that 1 extra second to see if the tank's going to pull even more. Here's a great pull for us. This is perfect. We have our Fire Elemental out. I get him out first. I've got my, I'm going to put Cap Totem down just to buy me some time to get my stuff rolling. I'm going to do Liquid Magma Totem. Boom. And then I do my Primordial Wave on a target that doesn't have Flame Shock. Now I have at least 5 Flame Shocks out. And boom, we go. And our damage just skyrockets here. It's awesome. Now, they get the Bulwark of Juju, which is reducing our damage dramatically because people weren't kicking that. The Earthquakes, though, are going to be knocking everybody over. It interrupted Venom Blast a second ago. Or Unstable Hex. I just want to show that really quickly. See right there? Interrupted. Unstable Hex. That was from our Earthquake. So, I love Earthquake. Again, Earthquake is such an underrated tool in Mythic Plus. It is so strong. The fact that it interrupts stuff all the time. There's my second Primordial Wave of this one pack. Another Earthquake down. Yeah, I just really love the value of Earthquake. And if you can get a tank that is able to just stand there and tank these guys, like this DH is doing, he's doing a wonderful job, then I can just keep pummeling the ground with Earthquakes and do as much damage as possible. One thing I want to highlight about this build is how mobile it is. You've seen me just running around for most of this fight, and you can see the green stuff under my feet constantly going under my feet. I have to keep moving all the time. You can do that. Your Earthquake is instant cast. Your Lava Surge procs are instant cast, which happen all the time. Your Earth Shock is instant cast as well. That's, of course, if you choose to take it. If you choose to take Elemental Blast, then it's not going to be, and that's fine. Elemental Blast is fine, but I really wanted to test a build that had Earthquake in it, or sorry, Earth Shock in it, to see if I could get a bunch of value out of the Earth Shock there. Here's the damage on that AoE just right there. Flame Shock, Lava Burst, Earthquake. Flame Shock's doing a whole lot, of course, because we have Skybreakers, giving it 50% more crit. But again, we have all our cooldowns back, and that's what I think the real power of this spec is going to be in 10.2. Look at our damage right out of the gates. Look at that! 350! I think I just threw an Earthquake in left field right there. Our damage is crazy. It's awesome. I got another Ascendance proc. It's crazy, man. You get so many meatballs that they give you so many Ascendance procs, and you get pulls like this, where you're just launching meatballs constantly, one after the other. It is so cool, man. So you can get moments like this where you get a huge burst damage, burst window, where you're just clapping this AoE pack. Or if you're not getting it, you can still have those consistent pulls every single pack, basically, where you're getting like 200k damage overall on a pack. Now, here's a really cool boss fight. I can put multiple Flame Shocks out and my Primordial Wave out. There we go. I got an Ascendance proc as well. Very lucky there. I'm dealing with my totem and another totem over here, and I end up starting to deal with the third totem as well. I'm primarily focusing down my totem right now, but I have 2 Flame Shocks ticking right now, which are giving me a bunch of extra Lava Surge procs. So again, really good. There's my third Flame Shock over there. I just dropped a Flame Shock right there. I don't think I realized it. Get my Primordial Wave going again. And then we're going to get another Lava Burst here, and it's going to go boom, 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 boom. There we go. Look at that. So that's pretty cool. You can get fights like this where you're able to really help out your teammates with their totems, but also just optimize your damage. But again, I just want to go back to my point before about mobility. This is a fight where mobility is really important. You need to keep moving while casting. You need to cast and then move, cast and then move. And because we have Earth Shock instead of Elemental Blast, it ends up giving me, the priest yoinks me in, which I did not appreciate. Don't do this. Listen, you can stand in the middle here. It's okay to stand in the middle and drop puddles. There's nothing wrong with that. You don't need to be on the outside. If you're a ranged DPS, just stay in the middle and keep dropping off these puddles here, because it means that there's less puddles on the outside for your team. Anyway, the point is, Earthshock gives you mobility, and on a fight like this, you can keep moving while casting. It's really, really good for that, and I love that. I really, really enjoy that. Our damage, once again, it's okay. It's not the best thing ever, but it's okay. I think it's good enough for now. I'll work on optimizing my rotation and my build and making sure that everything is good to go that way, but I'm really happy with the damage so far. And most importantly, as I really want to center on for the rest of this video, I'm having fun playing Ele Shaman. It is so much freaking fun. With the mobility, with the low cooldowns, having Primordial Wave basically being like a 20-second cooldown on average, and then having Liquid Magma Totem being a 1-minute cooldown. But also, I can refresh the cooldown with Totemic Recall. That makes it like a 30-second cooldown sometimes. You have so much flexibility. You can move while fighting, and you have cooldowns up for every single pack. And I just really love that. That's my kind of playstyle. I do not like these playstyles that have like 3-minute cooldowns. I don't know how to function like that. You know, maybe that makes me a bad player, and that's fine. But I really do enjoy these styles much, much more. So there's the rest of the single target fight. I'll just zoom past it. Again, we ended up doing 85. Came down a little bit at the end there, but not terrible. Here's another good AoE pull. Again, get my Fire Elemental out. Primordial Waves going, and then boom, here comes my Lava Burst combo. Boom, 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 boom. Lots of meatballs. We're doing lots of damage right away. Your burst window for Ele Shaman just gets going right away now. Not that it wasn't before, but with this tier set bonus, I feel like with the Primordial Wave element introduced, it really just gives you those extra meatballs, which make your damage go really high right out of the gates. And I love it. It just feels so good to play. And every pack, you're going to have 170 to 200k. And then on the really big packs, when you can pop off, you're going to have like 300 to 400k. And I know there's some specs on, even live right now, there's like a Fire Mage, for example, that can pull 600k, 700k on an AoE pack. I was running some keys last night with Uxie and a couple people, and Uxie did like 800k. He peaked at 800k on a pack on a freehold. But again, you have to remember that that is a dungeon that, you know, that it's that opening pack in freehold that has like 15 guys in it, or 12 dudes that you're killing, right? You know, you're always going to be able to get way more damage, and it's a controlled environment. They're not really doing very much. They're all packed together, so your damage can really stick. But the reality of most dungeons is they don't offer you packs like that all the time, so it's not necessarily the most realistic thing. But it's just good to see that, in my opinion, for Ele Shaman, they're not going to probably be able to get up to the 600k mark. Maybe they can, but on every single pack, you're going to have 200 to 250k, and then on the really big packs, you're going to have 300 to 400k. Like, that's just the way it's going to be once you sort out the rotation, once you get the right kind of trinkets going, and all that kind of jazz, right? I think it's really going to be amazing for us. And again, you just have consistent damage every pack. I'm just pumping right here. You get those cooldowns back. I just pressed Primordial Wave. Look at this. I just pressed Primordial Wave right here. Primordial Wave, and I immediately get an Ascendance proc. It's down to 30 seconds already. 28, 20, 15, 14, 13, 12. Like, look at that. It's already back. It's literally back for the next pack. That is so cool. That's the kind of gameplay that I love. I love that so much. Let me get to, I think this is a disaster pull right here, right? We all end up dying. I last for so long, though. It's actually kind of crazy. Look at my damage here. This is super cool. Again, the mobility of this. Dodging all the wildfires here, right? I'm moving while casting. I don't even think I pop. I don't even pop Spirit Walker's Grace there. I didn't even pop it. I just moved and casted. And I still had Spirit Walker's Grace afterwards. Like, that's how good this is. Really, really cool. We end up dying here because people didn't know that they just didn't know what they were doing. Let me skip ahead here. We do this big pull once again. We lust it. I'm popping off. I got my Fire Ellie out. Boom, boom, boom. They're all stacked together. This is a really ideal pull. And I think I got started on my damage a little bit late, but I have to move here. We got to be really careful. Got to get into the transfusion so that I can kill that guy instead of healing him. My Fire Elemental's back. I literally just summoned him a minute ago. That's how quickly Fire Ellie will come back, though, with Surge of Power. Remember, when you have Surge of Power, if you cast your Earthquake and then press Lava Burst, it will cool down your Fire Ellie. So look, the Warlock's popping off here. We're dying, so I got to heal a little bit. My damage is going to go down, of course, but I'm alive. There's another Ascendance proc. Good to go. We're back into doing our damage. Here comes the Primordial Wave combo. And it just feels good. Like, it just feels so good to play this. I love it, man. I love it. The damage went down quite a bit there because we kind of died because our healer died. But again, I just love it, guys. It is so much fun. I end up dying to a dot there. Here's the boss fight. We have good CC for this Spirit of Gold, which is wonderful. We can Earthquake him, which you just saw right there. He got Earthquake stun. Then we have Cap Totem. Then we also have Earth Bind Totem, which is going to slow him down if we need to. He does end up getting here anyway because we just didn't get any help on the CC from our friends, but that's okay. But yeah, again, lots of utility as well in the Ele Shaman toolkit. Again, Ele Shaman like typically isn't brought to a raid environment because they don't have any sort of a raid buff, right? And when it comes to Mythic Plus, I feel like they have so many good buffs. I think we end up dying here. Yeah, we don't even end up finishing this dungeon because it's just not good. But Elemental Shaman, yeah, sure, they don't have a buff when it comes to raid, which is shitty. I'll agree, that's not very nice. But they do have a buff when it comes to Mythic Plus. They have so many buffs. Now, right here, all the ads literally just went and walked into the boss because the tank pulled it too close. So we're all dying to a dot right now. But again, there's so much utility for the Elemental Shaman. You've got Cap Totem. You have a 12-second ranged kick, which is really good. You have Ancestral Guidance Healing. You have Rocky. You can get Rocky up and help tank a little bit if you want to. You have a Slow Totem. You have a Root Totem if you want it. You have a Speed Totem. You have Lust. So many things. Like, there's just a million things that you add to a dungeon environment, which is fantastic. That's a great reason to want to bring Ele. And I think if any of you guys are thinking about bringing Ele Shaman to your Mythic Plus keys this coming patch, I really think you should consider it. Here's our damage overall in the dungeon. We only did 113k because we died multiple times because the team just sort of had a rough time getting through there. But here's what your damage breakdown is going to look like. Elemental Blast is all free. I don't have Elemental Blast on my own, so 3.7% of our damage just for free. And the uptime on the buffs is 50%. That's pretty good. That's a pretty good uptime on all these extra stat buffs that we're getting from Ele Blast. Lava Burst, of course, is going to be your top damage because it's just casting it a million times. Flame Shock doing lots of damage because of Skybreakers, buffing its crit by 50%. You can see it crit 86% of the time. That's crazy. Like, that's a lot of extra damage. And then Earthquake Liquid Magma Totem doing a lot of damage on its own, which is super good. And there's the rest of it right there. There's the Molten Slag Dot that we're getting. 15% of our Lava Burst damage. It does over 4 seconds. Sorry, it's a dot. That's that magma slag right there. So it's good, guys. It's good. I think Ele Shaman is very, very, very exciting. And I just wanted to post this video to say that it is also very fun to play. And I think that it adds so much to your key. All the tools that it has, the cooldowns, the way that this new build is going to operate. Primordial Wave Liquid Magma Totem. These cooldowns are so incredibly low. And then you're just launching meatballs all the time. You're trying to proc DRE. Your chance of proccing it is very high because of all the extra meatballs that you're getting from the tier set bonus. It's just a lot of fun. It is a lot of fun, and I think you guys are going to absolutely love it. If you're thinking at all about playing Elemental Shaman, please, you should just jump on it in 10.2. There's never been a better time. Yes, they just most recently nerfed this tier, but I think they're done with nerfs. I think that they finally figured exactly where they want the Ele Shaman tier set bonus to be, and this is my main reason for wanting to play this in Season 2. This thing is so much fun to play around with, and again, the mobility, the damage, the cooldowns that you have. It's just really fun. The extra tools. So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you thinking of switching your main to anything different in 10.2 because of a tier set bonus that's coming up? Please let me know in the comments down below if you're thinking of switching, and especially if you're thinking of switching to Elemental Shaman. I hope maybe I've helped sway you a little bit in that direction because it's going to be hella fun. All right. Thank you guys so much for watching. I love you all. I will see you in the next one.